Alright, good morning YouTube family. Welcome back to another video, and today is different from any other video because it's not just a normal vlog. Today is part 1, episode 1 of the S14 rebuild. Woo! I know, crazy, right? So I made a decision for the S14. Yes, I could just drop the trans, throw a clutch in, put the car on the road and drive it and have a great time. But that just doesn't, that just does not work for me. So I got to enjoy the car at, I would say, stage 1. Stage 1 was, I mean, you buy it, it's mostly stock-ish. You beat on it, you have a good time. And now I think it's time for stage 2. The car looks good in photos, but in all reality, she's kind of crusty. So my goal is to restore, I'm gonna say restore. My goal is to restore the S14 to something that it's probably better than it's ever been, or at least up to par with what it was when it came from the factory. So I could just take the car, drop it off at a shop. They could tear the whole thing apart, paint it, make it absolutely gorgeous, and I could pay a ton of money to let them do that. But that sounds boring, because I could tear the car apart with no tools in my garage over the course of the next 6 months and have a blast and smile every step of the way. So that's gonna be my goal. I don't have a lot of tools. I don't have a lot of resources here, but I would rather learn, have fun, and just work on the car. That's it. That's all I want to do. I just want to work on the car and have a good time. The goal of today's video is to get as much of the front end of the SILVIA disassembled and all the annoying little bits that surround the motor off and organized. That way, hopefully in the next video, I can pull the motor out of the car. Which sounds really sketchy. But that's the goal of today's video. So step 1, I'm gonna let the S14 run for a good 10 minutes because it's gonna be, it's the last time running in probably the next 6 months because it's gonna take a long time to build this car. So let the car run. I gotta get the garage organized and actually ready to go so I can really have room to disassemble it because my garage is not very big. And then get to wrenching. What I thought was gonna be my last time listening to the car run is dead. Sadness, absolute sadness. You know, you didn't want to run. You're not gonna run for 6 months because you didn't want to run now. So everything's fine. Everything's fine. Next step for the S14 is to take the rest of the body kit off. So I'm gonna take the side skirts off and I'm gonna take the rear bumper off. Get the trunk open. There's some junk in the trunk, get that cleaned out, and then move on to the battery and fenders and all the rest of this junk. So, side skirts, rear bumper, battery, trunk. Let's get moving. So we got the battery disconnected, and as you can tell, I have an absolutely beautiful battery tie down here. So this is exactly the kind of thing that I'm talking about. I mean, it looks all right, but it's just so, it's just filthy. It's just filthy. So yeah, battery's coming out. My battery tie down, that's coming out. Then we can move on. I've never actually taken fenders off of a car before. All I know is that I do know is that I have these little hex or Allen head bolts holding the top of the fender on, and then maybe some 10 mils holding the side of the fender on, and then it pops off. Honestly, I have no idea. So I'm gonna start with the Allen heads, move to the side, and then see what else is connected around that area, because there's got to be something there, right? It's not just a clip. Fender 1 is off. Not nearly as bad as I thought. So, I mean, the frame of the car, I mean, there's a little bit of like, kind of some surface rust in some places, but all in all, it's looking really good. I also didn't know that there were that many bolts holding a fender on, but there's a lot and they're pretty hidden, so check it out. So fender's off, and we got like a little bit, here where this weld is. That kind of makes me nervous, but all in all, the car is pretty clean. I gotta get this fender liner off. This is the wiring harness right here that I think that I've rubbed into on the other side. So let's get this off and let's find out. I don't know how like informative or how to-y these videos are gonna be. Mostly just me talking about my decision making, my learning, how I'm going about doing it, because my knowledge of cars is, I mean, it's all right. It's more than the average person. So if you're interested on what holds the fender on, we have bolt here that mounts to the, whatever this is, bash bar, I guess that is, the bash bar. Allen keys 1, 2, and 3. There is another 10 mil bolt behind the door. There are 2 right here on the pinch welds, 1 and 2. And then there is another bolt inside here behind the fender line. I'm not sure if you can see it back there. Right there. Yep, so those are all the bolts that hold the fender on. Like I said, maybe it's interesting to you. I didn't know how many bolts held the fender on, so it's cool to learn. All right, so next thing up, let's get the front mount intercooler off the car, and then let's get the radiator off the car. Then I'm also gonna try to label the wiring as best as I can. So like the headlight wiring here, seems like something in a couple months when I put the car back together would be something I might forget what it is. That's the only thing that makes me nervous. Reassembly is the nervous part. Taking things apart, it's easy, it's just bolts, right? But putting things back together, that's where it's gonna get sketchy. But I'm here for it. It's gonna be a good time. I already learned a lot about the car, and the overall condition of the car is pretty good. I'm happy, so. Well, this is something that's happened a few times, and it's something that you just gotta be okay with when working on such an old car. I don't know if it'll focus. So in the head of my socket there is the bolt. It snapped off. I think this is the 3rd one that I've snapped. So yeah, but this is what we're doing it for. I mean, come on, a nice car, you're gonna have nice bolts. So let's break the bolts, let's replace the bolts. got the front mount intercooler off. Everything's looking really, really good. I mean, there is some like weird wiring and there's just some weird things going on. And like I said, like this right here, like there's just some weird stuff going on. There's just some weird wiring and things that I don't know. And I feel like I should know everything. I should know everything that's going on in the car. And for me to have like weird wires that aren't connected and zip tied makes me, I don't know, I don't like it. So it's good, I'm happy, I'm learning. The car's in great shape. So I thought the car only had a clutch fan, but it actually has an E-fan as well. So there's a fan. So this is the shroud, right? The clutch fan would sit inside this and spin, but there is another electronic fan that sat on the front side of this. So wow, that's super interesting, super cool. I guess now I know why the car always ran like super cool. Not only did it have a giant radiator, but it also had an electronic E-fan. Cool. I still have some, what kind of tape is this? I still have some masking tape. So what I am gonna do on connectors like the one that came off the E-fan, I'm gonna wrap it in this and write E-fan on it. That way I have some sort of idea. Cause there's so much in an engine bay and I don't wanna lose track of anything. So tape it up, write E-fan on it, move on to the next step. So this was my idea. So tape it up. I wrote E-fan on it. Now the wiring harness comes in here, loops down, and then it just gets snaked in everywhere. So I guess the only thing I can do is just start yanking it apart and start unplugging things, trying to remember where everything goes, and then labeling everything, of course. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. Alright guys, so this is where I'm gonna end the progress for the S14. I got a lot done. I'm really, really happy about it. The only thing left I have is the power steering, the exhaust, the fuel lines, and then I gotta do this. But that's the only thing I have left on it before the motor's ready to come out. And everything is all labeled and ready to go. So I got labels on everything that's like, halfway important that I don't necessarily know or remember. So, like I said, I'm super happy with the progress made on the 14, even for having very little to no tools. So, a couple more things to do. We'll hit those in the next video and just keep wrenching on it. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.